to the crew members at that time, nor will we receive data here in the flight control room.
Houston, everything's looking good on board. Just confirm no pre-EI downloads.
Houston concurs.
That blackout period to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time, and again will last about 6 minutes in duration. We're 4 minutes away from entry interface. This view from Integrity as it crosses from southwest to northeast across the Pacific Ocean, 3 minutes from entry interface. "16.5 minutes till splashdown. The USS John P. Murtha and the recovery team is on station and in position, as are the airborne imagery assets that we hope to receive imagery from as Artemis enters the Earth's atmosphere and through parachute deployment. All of Integrity's systems are in great shape. The crew is ready to complete its mission just 15.5 minutes from now. All of the activities today have gone off in perfect fashion. No issues with the vehicle, no issues with the crew. And the weather at the splashdown site is go. Coming up on 1 minute until entry interface. Mark 1 minute until entry interface. 1 minute, 20 seconds until the expected start of our 6-minute blackout.
Integrity, 1 minute to a 6-minute blackout.
Integrity.
Ten seconds till entry interface. And we have crossed the threshold, now entering the Earth's atmosphere. We're at 400,000 feet, traveling 34,800 feet per second. Time to splashdown 13 minutes, 10 seconds. And as predicted,
live plasma, and we have lost the
and
signal.
as predicted, we've entered our communications blackout.
So we did see
This
a
will be a
tiny
6-minute
bit of
blackout
orange
period.
flame.
No voice. And from the G5 aircraft in the vicinity of the splashdown zone, this view of integrity. So that pinpoint of light shows the vehicle as it enters the period of peak heating in the Earth's atmosphere, the first tug of gravity being felt by Integrity's astronauts since their launch back on April 1st. Four and a half minutes until the end of the blackout period. Time to splashdown 11 minutes, 33 seconds. The landing and support officer reports that the P3 has acquisition
03. That's what we are waiting for. That time on the top.
The landing and support officer reports that the P3 has acquisition on Integrity.
Oh, they have acquisition on integrity. Okay. So they are tracking it.
3.5 minutes left in this blackout period. This is a visualization of the plasma buildup around the spacecraft and the repelling of that heat on Integrity's heat shield.
Amazing, folks. "33 miles above the Earth." Actually, it's 87, 88 miles. That's what we are tracking. That visualization is showing closer than what it is. So
Flight Dynamics reports that airborne assets in the vicinity of the splashdown zone do have a visual on Integrity. Still 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in our blackout period. Time to splashdown 9 minutes 35 seconds.
time to splash down 9 minutes, folks.
And the WB-57 flying in the splashdown zone also has a visual. And the Navy helos also have visuals. We're still in the blackout period. Still do not have communications from the crew. We're standing by for communications from the crew. We should be out of the blackout period less than a minute from now. We are now landing in.
Oh, Lucia, you were
Landing
there.
and support officer reports
Awesome.
small boats
Good
are
for
en route
you.
to the splashdown target zone.
Good for you. Folks, this is the view. Okay. Yeah, it is slowing down. It's like, so they must have deployed the parachutes. We need to see. It's right now 15
Passing through 150,000 feet, our trajectory is perfect. We're getting intermittent views
Yeah.
of integrity. Still waiting to establish voice communication.
So this is basically the view from the ground.
Integrity, Houston, comm check, post blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Your trajectory is nominal and your recovery teams have visual.
Wow.
Guidance looks good.
Folks,
No action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
not
Big
yet.
cheers from the
12
viewing
mil,
room here in Mission Control
12
as
miles.
voice communication reestablished with Commander Reed Wiseman.
Amazing, amazing, folks.
For America and a waiting world, Integrity
That's a plasma,
5.5
folks.
minutes away from coming home.
That's plasma, like light around the integrity.
Passing 100,000 feet now. Range to splashdown 19 nautical miles.
It shows 14 nautical miles and 1300 miles per hour. My God. That plasma gives me goosebumps whenever I see it. Plasma is unreal, folks. It's the fourth state of matter. The compressed air creates that plasma.
Integrity, impact to the camera controller fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
Integrity.
We're processing good data through the GPS system. A good view of Integrity. Time to splashdown 4.5 minutes.
5 miles, folks. No parachutes yet. It should deploy now.
The pyros are armed for forward bay cover jettison. And there go the first series of parachutes. And we're on drogues.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drogues out the window.
2 good drogue chutes. Next up,
We copy, we see them.
the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Perfect descent rate according to flight
Integrity,
dynamics.
good rates on 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
Passing through 10,000 feet. Still on drogues. Main chute deploy. We're at 5,000 feet. Search and recovery beacon has been activated on Integrity. And we have 3 good main chutes. Good 3 main chutes, good reefing, good descent rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes. Integrity, cabin pressure indicates no need for hydrazine checks.
Integrity copies.
This is a perfect descent for Integrity. Its crew sounding hale and hearty on board. Time to splashdown 1 minute, 15 seconds. Integrity about to complete a journey spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon. Passing through 1,000 feet.
Houston Integrity, splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth. And the landing and support officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts. The unofficial splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds. And we're configuring for very low data rate. Once again, splashdown occurring in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
Integrity Houston, comm check on VLDR.
Houston, we have you loud and clear on VLDR. How us?
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in post-landing.
Perfect communications established.
What a journey. We are stable 1, 4 green crew members.
Houston copies all.
Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members. That is not their complexion. That is the fact that they're in great condition. That's what that means. So stable 1, upright. The crew module uprighting system is being deployed. The 5 airbags being inflated through helium to maintain the upright configuration for the vehicle. This was a textbook entry and a textbook touchdown for Integrity. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen back on Earth after a journey around the moon. We continue to monitor the functioning of the CMOOS system. The airbags are being inflated to maintain a stable 1 or upright configuration. And there's a good view from one of the naval helicopters hovering overhead. Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members, meaning...
Integrity Houston for SAR beacon and radio.
SAR beacon is in for 06, and we're powering the radio now. Go ahead.
We see the beacon on. However, the recovery team is not seeing the signal. Your SAR radio uses the same antenna, so you may run into trouble with the radio.
Okay, copy. And we are also powering up the sat phone now.
Right on time, reaching its peak speed shortly after a blackout period began. We emerged from the blackout period, but the recovery imagery airborne assets were able to pick up Integrity's descent almost immediately through entry interface, tracking the vehicle all the way down. And finally, you saw the sequence of chute deployments. First, the forward bay cover being pulled off the top of the vehicle by a series of 3 parachutes. Then the drogue chutes were deployed, followed by the 3 main chutes that slowed the splashdown velocity of Integrity to just 19 miles an hour.
Integrity Houston with No Joy on SAR and SAT phone. We'd like you to command an additional 15 minutes for a total of 30-minute power down delay.
All right, Jackie, we have selected T/D+30. No Joy on SAR radio or sat phone. And stand by, we have the master diver on SAR radio. Please hold comms.
Hey, Lily. Excuse me. Hey, Jackie, we just got the master diver on SAR.
a good view of one of the fast boats.
Integrity Houston, if you are happy with your comm with Master Diver, you can go back to the 15-minute power down.
Okay, stand by. Yeah, we'll confirm here in a second.
The crew on board Integrity coordinating with the flight control team in Houston here in Mission Control on the timing of the power down of the vehicle, which will be the precursor to the recovery teams approaching the spacecraft. There are no issues with Integrity. We've had a bit of broken capability in establishing a SARSAT or satellite phone communications capability between the crew on board Integrity and the recovery team. That will get sorted out here shortly. There's plenty of cooling on board Integrity, so there's no rush to begin the power down.
I'm trying to call you on the sat phone and not getting an answer there either.
Concur. We haven't had anything come through.
And Houston, if you could relay to recovery that we hear them, but it does not appear as though they are hearing us.
Houston copies, and Reed, just to confirm, you are pushing the PTT on the radio.
So as we continue to sort out the communications between Integrity and the recovery teams, we are standing by for the initiation of the power down procedures that, as you see, the recovery teams are moving towards the side of the capsule. The next major event will be the erection of that large inflatable raft called the front porch. That will be the port of call for the crew as they're being extracted one by one from the vehicle.
Integrity Houston, for sat phone, we are going to attempt to call you.
Good idea, standing by.
And Jackie, yes, we are pushing the push to talk, the two buttons on the left side of the radio below the up-down arrows. We are utilizing them. I'm rebooting the radio to see if we get good comms.
Okay, we copy all, and just to confirm, you are seeing that you are touchdown plus 3030 for power, correct?
That's affirmative.
We are trying a backdoor approach to have Mission Control here call the crew on their satellite phone. This is all part of the coordination for the power down of the vehicle that will initiate the actual recovery operation. The first boats with the Navy divers on board are standing by, waiting to close in on Integrity to begin the process of erecting the large inflatable raft. That's called the front porch. That will be where the astronauts are extracted from so that they can have a few minutes to get their land legs back before they're hoisted aboard the Navy helicopters for the flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha.
Cannot reply.
And Houston, please don't reply. NRD, very weak, but readable. Master Diver, we can hear, but they cannot hear us. And Houston on OE1, is there any chance to tie us into NRD?
Checking.
This is Mission Control Houston. While we stand by for the establishment of communications between Integrity and the recovery team that is basically standing by very close to the spacecraft, we're going to go to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha, where Megan Cruz is standing by with Administrator Jared Isaacman.
Hey, Rob, yeah, just such an honor to be able to be here on the ship, to be able to share and experience this moment with everyone together. And of course, as you just said, yes, here with NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. Administrator, how did you feel getting to witness this and seeing NASA at its best?
Oh, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm still at a loss for words. I mean, you know, like the childhood Jared right now can't believe what I just saw. I mean, almost been waiting my whole lifetime to see this, and then it's NASA Administrator. I just couldn't be more proud of the entire workforce, the years, the effort, the late nights, all the hard work from across the country that contributed to this incredible moment right now. And yeah, incredibly grateful too for our teams here on the John P. Murtha right now.
Yeah, look at them behind us here.
Got everybody. Hey, what do you guys think? We just brought some astronauts back from the moon, huh? Unbelievable. Thank you. Yeah, so grateful to the Navy, the sailors that are here, the NASA teams. I mean, this is a joint effort that's on their way right now. These recovery forces are getting out to our Orion spacecraft, to Integrity, get our astronauts back on the ship safely.
Yeah, and this is not just an accomplishment for NASA. This is an accomplishment for humanity. Again, a historic mission to the moon and back. How does this make you feel, and what do you hope people take away from this?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, I think about the crew members that we've all had an opportunity to observe over the last 10 days, right? I mean, they're absolutely professional astronauts. I mean, wonderful communicators, almost poets. But then I think these were the ambassadors from humanity to the stars that we sent out there right now. And I can't imagine a better crew than the Artemis II crew that just completed a perfect mission right now. So yes, it's a huge moment for everybody, right? I mean, we are back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon, bringing them back safely, and to set up for a series more. I mean, this is not a once in a lifetime, which you hear sometimes around here. It's like, this was a once in a lifetime. No, it's not. This is just the beginning. We are going to get back into doing this with frequency, sending missions to the moon until we land on it in 2028 and start building our base.
Yeah, are we going to build on the momentum for Artemis 3? I mean, it's just around the corner.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's, you know, part of me too. Like, I can't wait to get the crew off of Integrity right now, but also getting Integrity back on this ship so we can start taking a look at it, because all that data is so precious to us right now. I mean, we are going to definitely want to take a good look at the thermal protection system. We're going to want to download all the data they couldn't transmit back to us and use that to inform Artemis 3. But we're already making progress, right? You had SRB segments already showing up at KSC. Core stage for Artemis 3 is rolling out on April 20th. We're getting 39, or we're getting Mobile Launcher 1 back in vehicle assembly building. So yes, there is a lot to celebrate right now on a mission well accomplished for Artemis 2, and at the same time, we got to start getting ready for 3.
Amazing. And last question, for people who joined us for all 10 days to see what we can accomplish together with our international partners, what do you think about the fact that we're going to keep doing this more and more and more?
It's incredibly exciting. I mean, yes, it's the contributions, like the best and brightest across the NASA workforce from across the country, our industry partners, our international partners. We had a Canadian Space Agency astronaut on board in Jeremy. We had the European Service Module. And you think in the days leading up to this launch, I mean, 48 hours prior to launching Artemis 2, I was meeting with the Italian Space Agency. We signed a memorandum of understanding to build a habitation module on the moon. I mean, you have countries, all of our allies and partners coming together saying, we are committed to this effort, we are returning to the moon, we're doing it to stay, we are building that enduring presence, we are going to master the skills on the surface of the moon so someday we can undertake missions to Mars. It's just an incredibly exciting time, and we're not going at it alone, we're bringing everybody along with us.
Absolutely. And speaking of everyone, one more time, we're going to ask the crew here, you guys ready to land on the moon? Awesome. I love that. Okay, well, thank you so much, Administrator. Appreciate you being here. We're, of course, going to stay on to watch the crew get extracted from Orion, so stay tuned, and we'll see you back here shortly.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you, Administrator Isaacman. We are in the process of working to establish that communications link and to establish the procedures that will lead to the power down of the spacecraft, which is gently bobbing in the Pacific following a bullseye touchdown that occurred at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time, 2.5 hours before sunset in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego. We have once again heard from the crew during that interview opportunity with the administrator, and we have 4 healthy crew members on board. We now have confirmation that the vehicle has been powered down as per the procedures. So we have vehicle powered down, and the flight control team here in Houston, Flight Director Rick Henfling, has handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems team out in the Pacific. Now, we will physically not get off console with this team until the crew has been extracted into the front porch, that inflatable raft that will be erected along the side hatch of Integrity. So we're standing by for that in the next step in the recovery procedures. But everything is in great shape, and we have 4 healthy crew members on board the vehicle. All of the entry events went by the book, no issues, perfect trajectory for Integrity that was culminated with one final raise burn to improve the angle of attack for the vehicle as it entered the Earth's atmosphere. All of that flight dynamics computation worked like a charm. So we are standing by for the recovery team to approach Integrity and begin the process of erecting that inflatable raft called the front porch, which will see the crew members be extracted from the hatch of Orion into that inflatable raft before they're hoisted aboard 2 Navy helicopters in a variety of different configurations. Each crew member will be hoisted in sequential fashion, in alternating fashion, 2 crew members for each helicopter, before they turn around to head back to the John P. Murtha. Once on the deck of the ship, they'll be brought into medical bay for comprehensive medical exams. But Reid Wiseman has reported several times that the crew is in excellent shape. So just to recap, it has been some 26 and a half minutes since the splashdown of Integrity in the Pacific. The vehicle is in excellent shape. It performed like a champ all the way down through the Earth's atmosphere. All of the vehicle functions were checked off in excellent trip hammer fashion. The parachutes all deployed as planned. Splashdown occurring at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. And after a bit of a tussle to try to establish a communications link with the recovery team, we were finally able to run through the procedures for the powering down of the vehicle. We've handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems folks out in the Pacific, and the recovery team will be approaching the vehicle shortly to erect the inflatable raft called the front porch. That is one of the fast boats circling the vehicle to make a hazard assessment. This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, you're watching the initiation of the recovery of the Artemis crew aboard Integrity. All of the Navy divers and the fast boats are now approaching the spacecraft after conducting a hazard assessment. The vehicle has been powered down. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling now waiting for the life raft, the front porch, to be erected along the side of the vehicle so that the hatch can be opened and the crew members extracted from Integrity, soon to be hoisted one by one into a pair of Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha. If you missed it earlier, we talked to Flight Dynamics and received a more official touchdown time or splashdown time, as it were, of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Pacific Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds. Continuing to get excellent views from the imagery assets out at sea in the Pacific of Integrity. We continue to get good reports from the landing and support officer, who's in contact with the recovery team, that the crew is in excellent shape, no issues. They're just currently biding their time, waiting for the front porch to be erected. We have no hazardous hazard gases and no hazardous situation with the vehicle. It performed perfectly all the way down from entry interface to its splashdown in the Pacific at 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. And as you can see, the first phalanx of recovery personnel now pulling up alongside of Integrity. This includes Navy divers, a Navy flight surgeon, and other recovery personnel who have trained for several years for this recovery process. At this hour, some 41 minutes following splashdown, The vehicle has been powered down. There's no hazardous gas emanating from the vehicle. That's why the first team of recovery personnel has been able to pull alongside Integrity. And the reports continue to come in that the 4 astronauts are in excellent shape. Yes. This is Mission Control Houston, continuing to watch the initiation of the recovery of Integrity's astronauts. One by one, they'll be brought out of the spacecraft onto a large inflatable raft just a short time from now. In the meantime, we can go back to the USS John P. Murtha, where my colleague Megan Cruz is standing by to provide her situation report. Megan, can you hear us?
Hey, Rob. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Yeah, we're back here on the bow of the recovery ship where there are still plenty of people peering out into the water. We are not very far from the action everyone is seeing on their screen now. The Orion spacecraft Integrity in the ocean, surrounded by a number of recovery boats. As Rob has been saying, in those recovery boats, NASA and Navy personnel specifically trained to get the astronauts out of Orion. In some of our wide shots, you can probably see that there are 6 boats out in the water. More than 40 people out in the water right now on those boats. First order of business is to set up the front porch and the stabilization collar. You might also hear it referred to as a stab collar. Basically just to make sure that Orion stays upright, doesn't sway in the water too much, again, to make it easier for recovery forces to get the astronauts out. Again, we splashed down in the Pacific Ocean just after 5 p.m. Pacific time here. It's a requirement by NASA to be able to get the crew out of Orion within 2 hours of splashdown. So doing great on time so far. Plenty of time. No rush either. I was speaking to NASA flight surgeon Rick Schuring earlier in this broadcast, and he said to me, no rush to get the crew out. Just want to make sure that they're feeling good, and whenever they're ready to take their step out of Orion and onto that large raft, the front porch, folks will be ready. And as there are mission audio loops in Mission Control in Houston, there is a mission audio loop here on the ship, and it was just reported out that the side hatch is open. Side hatch of Integrity is open. You're getting these beautiful shots from our aerial assets. The ship itself, where I'm on, just 3,000 yards away. Again, plenty of people on the boat here, glued to the side closest to where they can see all this action. And again, with just 3,000 yards separating us, great views from the bow here. You can see now that side hatch is open. One of the Navy personnel is about to get inside there. In they go. In total, 4 will go into Orion. So it'll be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but the goal is to have a recovery personnel with each astronaut assessing them. Boats getting closer now. Again, that one that's right up against Orion, those are the divers that will go in to the spacecraft to check on each of the astronauts. These other boats will begin doing a number of things, putting on that stabilization collar onto Orion, building that front porch. Eventually, they will retrieve the parachutes, as well as tow Orion back to the well deck of the recovery ship here. And so as we wait for the Navy and NASA personnel to get their assessment of the crew inside of Orion, why don't we toss it back to Rob for an update?
Yeah, thank you, Megan. Here in Mission Control, Flight Director Rick Henfling and the entry team of flight controllers still on duty. The vehicle has been powered down for some time now. There are no hazardous gases emanating from Integrity. That, of course, allowed the recovery personnel to approach the vehicle and then open the hatch to begin the initial medical assessment of the crew, as you just indicated. Now we're standing by for the erection of that inflatable raft, the front porch, alongside of the vehicle that will enable the crew to be extracted one by one onto the raft, have a moment or two to get their land legs back before they're hoisted into 2 hovering Navy helicopters, 2 crew members for each helicopter, for a short flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha. All of Integrity's systems operated flawlessly throughout the course of the approach to the Earth, the entry into the Earth's atmosphere, and all of the key milestones that followed in this high-speed return to Earth for Integrity, a mission that spanned more than 694,000 miles from the vehicle's launch from the Kennedy Space Center atop the Space Launch System back on April 1st.
Any unnecessary occurrences from happening, stabilizing the capsule and the astronauts inside.
So basically this is a float that will go around Orion. I'm assuming that what they're doing right now, these are the lines that will attach the collar onto Orion?
That is correct.
And so what are they doing here?
So we've got the lower line that will secure the inflation device before we inflate it. That gives us the go-ahead that it's secure in its space, and then we'll inflate it, and then once that is done, we'll undo all the carabiners and get this orange line on top tied in the same fashion, and then this will be secured to the capsule, and the astronauts can safely take their first steps out of the capsule onto the front porch.
Okay, and how long will it take them to set up the stabilization collar?
We should definitely be able to handle this in under 10 minutes.
Okay, wow. And then you just mentioned the front porch. So basically after they set up this stabilization collar, then they set up what's called the front porch here.
That's correct.
Okay, and what's the front porch?
Front porch is basically a bigger waiting room for the astronauts to sit in while we wait for the helicopters to show up and grab them.
Okay, so the medical team that was inside with the crew, they're going to help them out and onto the front porch?
That is correct.
And then what happens here?
We have higher trained medical personnel also on board the front porch that will give them lookovers and just make sure they're okay while we wait for the helicopters to show up.
Okay. How does it feel, I mean, your team, you, to be part of a mission that's returning astronauts from the moon in more than 50 years?
We all feel extremely honored to be a part of this, as well as a bigger mission for the Navy and joining up with NASA to do great things.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like you and your team are ready?
Yes, very ready.
Cool. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, the recovery operations are continuing out in the Pacific. We shortly should see that life raft, the front porch, erected alongside the side hatch of the vehicle. A number of flight controllers have come into the flight control room to receive congratulations from Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling. But we're going to stick with our operations out in the Pacific as we await the extraction of the 4 crew members who are reported to be in excellent condition. Again, while we stand by for that front porch to be erected alongside of the side hatch of the vehicle, let's go back to the USS John P. Murtha and Megan Cruz. Megan?
Hey, Rob. Pausing now to listen to some internal audio loops. Again, the operations team here on the ship communicating with everyone out on the water. It seems like currents are hindering them a little bit from unfurling and inflating the stabilization collar as well as the front porch. But again, the requirement to get the crew out within 2 hours of splashdown, plenty of time. So no concerns just yet. But as calm as the water looks, yeah, it looks like it's hindering the teams just a tad. You can see in some of our shots that side hatch still open. Again, inside there are now 8 people inside. 4 divers, Navy divers, all with medical training, each assigned to an astronaut each. Making sure that they're comfortable, feeling good. As you've heard us say in the broadcast, you know, they expect a little bit of discomfort. Again, these astronauts just traveled back to Earth at 25,000 miles an hour, a nearly 695,000 mile journey around the moon. If you think you get car sick. Again, 6 boats out there, lots of gear with them, just in case, right? As we said, the crew reported feeling great, but again, all those folks out there in case they weren't, right? NASA is all about making sure we think about every situation that can happen, and so, of course, wanted to be ready in case any of our astronauts needed more medical attention while out there in the water. You see now teams, again, trying to set up the stabilization collar and front porch for the crew to get out of Orion. They need both, right? The stabilization collar will keep Orion from swaying as you see it is doing now. And then they will connect the front porch to the stabilization collar so that the crew can take 2 steps and they will be in the front porch. Not a lot of chatter on the mission audio loops. That's a good thing. Again, things proceeding pretty nominally, even if they're fighting some currents out there on the Pacific Ocean. Again, the goal, setting up the stabilization collar and the front porch so that the crew can rest comfortably in the front porch, get placed into harnesses so that 2 helicopters can lift them off the front porch and onto the USS John Murtha here. The helicopters are going to take turns picking up an astronaut. So again, Helo 1 and Helo 2. Okay, and the recovery team here on the ship just got a report from the undersea medical officer who is inside the capsule with the crew. He is reporting all 4 members are green. All of our 4 astronauts, Reed, Victor, Christina, Jeremy, green, meaning they are feeling great, not the complexion of their skin. They are feeling great, happy to be home, and ready to be extracted as soon as possible. And so, as I was saying, we have 2 helicopters circling the activity you're seeing on the water right now. Each will take turns picking up an astronaut. So Helo 1 will come on in, hover above the front porch, about 40 feet above the front porch. A Navy recovery specialist will be hoisted down into the front porch.
The restricted maneuvering doctrine is in effect.
Will connect to the first astronaut, which we're expecting to be Christina. And then Helo 2 comes around, picks up Jeremy, while Helo 1 stays above head. And then Helo 1 will come back in for another astronaut, and then Helo 2 for the last astronaut, and then back to the flight deck here on the recovery ship. I was talking to Assistant Artemis Recovery Director Paul Sierpinski. He said helos are a much quicker, safer way to get on board. They did actually consider boats, but then if you think about it, longer time, the crew would have to move through more of the ship. This way the helos will give a more direct, quicker route to the medical bay for our 4 astronauts. Beautiful shots from our aerial and imagery teams. Clouds have dissipated for a clear view from the bow of the recovery ship here. You can still see divers in the water there. Encircling Orion, that is that stabilization collar we've been telling you about. As you saw in that interview just a few minutes ago, they have to first connect it to Orion, and then once it's secured onto Orion, they can inflate it, and then they'll further secure it with other harnesses and lines. About an hour and 10 minutes since splashdown in the Pacific Ocean here. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy back home after a history-making mission to the moon and back. If you missed what we said just a couple of minutes ago, the undersea medical officer inside with the crew in Orion reporting all 4 crew members feeling great. Progress being made there on the stabilization collar. It looks like they are beginning to inflate it. And it looks like they're starting to unfold the front porch in order to get that into the water here shortly and inflate that as well. Again, more than 40 people out in the water right now. And those Navy and NASA personnel have been in the water for now about 4 hours. reason why they had to get out so early is just to stage everything. And actually here on the ship, when there are flight operations happening, you can't have anything else, right? Just because the flight deck can be a dangerous place, so they just want to focus on planes coming and going from the ship, so that's why they wanted to get the boats in the water to make sure that they have all the time they needed for the flight ops. And then the same crew here out in the water, they will stay out in the water for a number of hours after we recover the crew and get them back on the ship, because then they have to recover Orion. All right, that stabilization collar looking good around Orion. We're now seeing some recovery personnel getting on to that collar. Again, they need to further attach it to Orion to make sure that it can really prop up the spacecraft. It's basically lifting it up off of the water just a tad. Again, so it's not so
Come off me for a minute.
so it doesn't sway so much in the water there. And now that front porch looks like it's nearly fully inflated as well. You can see a much larger surface area. And so once the crew get out of Orion, they can stretch their legs a little bit on this front porch, get some fresh air. And enjoy this beautiful day here on their home planet. It appears teams now are about to connect the front porch to the stabilization collar. And at that point, when both are secure, we should soon see astronauts come out of Orion. All these views you see also being fed to the Landing Force Operations Center here on the ship. Of course, it is very important for our recovery teams leading the mission to have all the views that you're seeing as well. Again, listening to their communication loop here on the ship. Very quiet, which is a good thing. It means things are going pretty nominally, meaning as expected. Again, all this activity happening just 3,000 yards away from the ship. So that means this will be a very quick flight back on the helicopters for the crew. 2-3 minutes, and then they'll be back here on the ship.
I know.
Okay, saw a thumbs up from one of the personnel on the front porch. It looks like they are now getting ready to deploy what they call the Air Rescue Vest, ARV. And so this is the harness that each crew member will get into in order to be hoisted into the helicopters. Again, those helicopters hovering just about 40 feet above the front porch when they're ready to pick up each crew member.
This is Mission Control Houston. Behind me, a fairly raucous scene as hundreds of flight controllers have poured into the flight control room here. This is reminiscent of the scene after the final shuttle mission of STS-135, although that was the end of a program. This is only the beginning of a program with the textbook splashdown of Integrity and its 4 astronauts. We're standing by for the crew to be extracted from the spacecraft. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling invited all of these flight controllers who have contributed to this mission to enter the flight control room to have an opportunity to receive well wishes and to share the mutual glow that exists in the wake of a textbook mission for Integrity. On the front screen here in Mission Control, a sign that says "Welcome Home, Integrity," taking humanity back to the moon, going further, and returning safely to Earth. So all of that jubilation, part of the post-splashdown activities, even as we await the crew being extracted from the vehicle to be hoisted onto Navy helicopters for the trip back to the USS John P. Murtha. Once again here in Mission Control, this view of the Artemis Flight Control Room, known as the White Flight Control Room. This is the old shuttle flight control room, and now is the home of Artemis missions to the moon and beyond. Once again, quite a few flight controllers were invited in by Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling to share in the jubilation following the successful splashdown of Integrity. That splashdown occurring an hour and 22 minutes ago, as we stand by for the completion of the extraction of the crew, and ultimately they're hoisting onto Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the USS John P. Murtha. Splashdown occurred at 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. I had an opportunity to talk to the head of Flight Dynamics, Jeff Birch, a moment or two ago. He said the trajectory of Integrity coming through the Earth's atmosphere was so precise, they've never seen anything line up on a ground track like today's entry by Integrity for its splashdown southwest of San Diego. And the initial, you can hear it. Jubilation here in the flight control room. The first crew member is out of Integrity. We are expecting the other crew members momentarily to be extracted. We now have 2 crew members out. Two crew members out, 2 to go. We're about 1 hour from sunset out in the Pacific. Everything continues to go well. Integrity's systems function perfectly during its entry back to Earth. And Reid Wiseman, the commander who will be last out of the vehicle, reported that all the crew members were feeling very well. Crew member number 3 now out. And now standing by for the commander, Reid Wiseman, who will be last out of his ship. Bobbing in the Pacific under almost ideal conditions, Integrity spanned 694,000 miles during its journey from launch to splashdown.
Reid, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, good luck. Godspeed, Artemis 2. Let's go.
We have good separation, good motion.
Houston is go for TLI.
We have the start of the translunar injection burn that will send the crew around the moon, the first humans to do so in over 50 years.
You could see the entire globe from pole to pole. It was the most spectacular moment.
As of 30 seconds ago, you are now closer to the moon than you are to us on Earth.
Good morning, Integrity, and good morning, Moon.
We caught a view of Earth in window 1.
We look like we're smiling at you.
Good afternoon. Hey. Hold on. I don't know if you realize where you're at and what we've done, but we need some energy in here, okay? I mean, we just sent 4 people around the moon. You're in Houston, Texas. Let's try it again. Good afternoon. Hey. Awesome. That is awesome. Well, hello everyone. I'm Norm Knight, Director of Flight Operations at NASA's Johnson Space Center. It is my honor to welcome you to Ellington Field in Houston as we celebrate the return of the Artemis II crew from their historic mission around the moon. This afternoon, we're not only celebrating their safe homecoming, we're recognizing a milestone in spaceflight history that advances America's bold return to deep space, this time to stay. I also want to extend a warm and sincere welcome to our distinguished guests who have joined us for this extraordinary moment. We are pleased to be joined by U.S. Representative Chairman Brian Babin, Representative Michael Cloud, and Chairman Greg Bonin. We're also glad to be joined by the staff of Senator Ted Cruz's office. And of course, to our NASA leadership and our partners across government, industry, and abroad. We can't do this alone. Most importantly, a warm welcome to the families of our crew. Their steadfast support, resilience, and love are the quiet force that power every mission we fly. And joining us, everyone joining us on NASA Plus and watching from around the world, thank you for following this mission and for standing with us in this defining moment for human spaceflight. Just 10 days ago, 4 extraordinary explorers, Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, launched aboard NASA's Space Launch System in the Orion spacecraft named Integrity on the first crewed Artemis mission, embarking on humanity's first journey beyond Earth's orbit in more than half a century. Last night, they returned to Earth with a safe splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Today at Ellington Field, we welcome them home to Houston, Texas. With their safe return to their families, the Artemis II mission is now complete. Now, to help us bring this incredible crew out here, please join me in welcoming NASA Johnson Space Center Director Vanessa Weish to the stage.
Thank you, Norm. I love the energy in this room. To everyone joining us today, both in person and tuning in across the world, thank you. This is an extraordinary day, and it's your continued support that enables us to keep making giant leaps together. As Norm mentioned, just last night, Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy splashed down off the coast of San Diego, concluding an unforgettable 10-day mission to the moon. Together, the crew and Integrity traveled over 680,000 miles in total, journeying around the far side of the moon and return home safely. Marking a milestone within our agency's history that will echo for generations to come. Along the way, this crew completed critical demonstrations from Earth orbit operations to systems checkouts to the translunar injection burn and complex trajectory through cislunar space. For the very first time, Orion's life support systems were tested with astronauts on board, an essential mission milestone for deep space when we go there, further and further ahead. Beyond the data and demonstrations, this mission gave us something bigger, a powerful reminder of why we dare to explore. During a ship-to-ship call with the International Space Station, the crew shared a reflection that resonated around the world. How looking back at Earth, our bright, beautiful home, suspended in the vastness of space, reminds us how connected we are, how alike we are, and how precious this shared planet truly is. Millions globally felt that connection throughout this mission. People didn't just watch, they were invested. They cheered every milestone, they reveled in each heartfelt moment, and felt the triumph of this journey right alongside the crew. The excitement, the pride, the unmistakable moon joy, it is everywhere. And a new generation witnessed, if you can dream it, you can be it. And it will lead to countless students to become the next scientists, engineers, inventors, mathematicians, and astronauts, who will dare to forge new frontiers in space and push the boundaries of what's possible for the benefit of all. Artemis II was designed to test, to learn, and to prepare, and it did exactly that. Its success is a testament to the dedication of thousands of people across the agency and the world who work tirelessly with excellence, supporting the crew through every phase of training and execution. This is the golden age of exploration, defined by innovation, partnership, and a bold, renewed commitment to extend humanity's reach. This mission moves us closer to exploring more of the moon, unlocking scientific discoveries, expanding economic opportunity, and laying the groundwork for the first human missions to have a sustained presence on the moon and for us to have our astronauts venture to Mars. Today's celebration is about more than hardware and milestones. It is a celebration of 4 pioneers who represent the very best of humanity, who traveled farther than any humans have gone before, and who carried all of us along with them. And now they are home. It is, yes. It is with tremendous joy and pride that we welcome home Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy. We often say that we stand on the shoulders of giants. After seeing them return from this mission, I have to say, their shoulders now seem even broader for the next generation to stand on. Thank you all, and I now have the pleasure of introducing and inviting our NASA Administrator, Jared Isaacman, to the stage to welcome the crew home.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome home, Artemis II. I'd like to begin by thanking President Donald Trump and our partners in Congress for giving us the mandate and the resources to make this mission and many others to come possible. I also want to acknowledge the contributions of the entire NASA workforce, our international partners at the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency, and especially the American taxpayers. There is no doubt there is a price to pay when it comes to exploring the cosmos, but there is also a return in the jobs it creates, the technologies that improve life here on Earth, and the inspiration it sparks in all those who choose to follow. And to people all around the world who look up and dream about what is possible, the long wait is over. After a brief 53-year intermission, the show goes on, and NASA is back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon and bringing them home safely. This is why it is now my great privilege to welcome to the stage Commander Reed Wiseman, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Koch, and Mission Specialist Jeremy Hansen. Ladies and gentlemen, your Artemis II crew.
Space motion sickness on a ride.
Well, Artemis II crew, this moment is the result of years of hard work, absolute immense expertise, and just being all around great human beings. Now, of course, many of us already knew that, especially your families that supported you throughout your impressive careers and on this 250,000-mile mission from Earth. But now the world knows what incredible people you are as you brought us all along with you on this epic journey of integrity. Over the last 10 days, you tested the SLS rocket, the Orion spacecraft, you manually piloted the vehicle, you performed critical operations, relayed scientific observations, captured inspiring pictures, and of course ventured farther into space than anyone in history on a true test mission. You were, of course, the first crew to fly on this rocket and spacecraft, and that comes with risk. You accepted that risk for what we collectively stood to gain, all that we have now learned from your mission, and for where we will inevitably go from here. But you're not alone. You took all of us along with you, the contributions from the pioneers of decades past, the love of your families here on Earth, and those that were watching over you from the stars. Artemis II was the opening act in America's return to the moon. As we stand here this evening, the mobile launcher is preparing to go back to the VAB. Artemis III will start being assembled, and the next crew will begin preparing to play their part. As we return to the lunar surface, we build the base, and we never give up the moon again. Commander Wiseman, Reed, you said in an interview back in February that you hoped this mission would be forgotten, overshadowed by all that was to come after. But I'm very sorry to disappoint you all. Artemis II will always be remembered. It was the moment we all saw the moon again, where childhood dreams became missions. You helped the world start believing again. And this is something no one's ever going to forget. So on behalf of NASA and the space-loving community from around the world, thank you for showing us your courage, your professionalism, your unity, and your humanity. Thank you for showing us the moon again. Thank you for showing us planet Earth again. And thank you for contributing to the greatest adventure in human history. Welcome home, Artemis II. And now it's my honor to turn the floor over to Commander Reed Wiseman.
Yeah, let's sing. Let's sing real quick. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Integrity.
So we wear these ActiWatches, and if you hit this button, the red light lights up, which tells you got a good battery. And I don't know why, but for the last 2 years when we wear these, hey Hopper, for the last 2 years when we wear these things, it just kind of brings us back into focus whenever we get a little distracted. So we did a lot of syncing when we were on this mission for no reason whatsoever. I have absolutely no idea what to say. This is 24 hours ago, the Earth was that big out the window and we were doing Mach 39, and here we are back at Ellington at home. Every one of us are just going to give a couple of words, but I get the mic first, so I'm going to start. Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, we are bonded forever, and no one down here is ever going to know what the four of us just went through, and it was the most special thing that will ever happen in my life. And our families are over here, and with the exception of Dot, Susie, and Jeannie, who are in the audience, but I don't know where they are. But Dot, I'm going to hit McDonald's later today in honor of your husband. No one knows what the families went through, man. This was not easy. Being 200,000 plus miles away from home, like before you launch, it feels like it's the greatest dream on Earth. And when you're out there, you just want to get back to your families and your friends. It's a special thing to be a human, and it's a special thing to be on planet Earth. Thank you. Wait, now I got to make a joke. The only person who can follow that up is Victor Glover, so let's go.
And now we're ready for questions. I'm going to keep it brief because I'm afraid to start talking. I have not processed what we just did, and I'm afraid to start even trying. When this started on April 3rd, I wanted to thank God in public, and I want to thank God again, because even bigger than my challenge trying to describe what we went through, the gratitude of seeing what we saw, doing what we did, and being with who I was with, it's too big to just be in one body. And I wanted to thank our families for everything that he just said. So great words, great words, great words. I love you, but not just those 5 beautiful cocoa skin ladies right there. All of you. And I wanted to thank our leadership. And it's changed since we were here in April of 2023. But the qualities haven't. And we are fortunate to be in this agency at this time together. And so I'm going to sit down. Thank you also to our air operations for this facility and for our ride home from San Diego. And I love you. Thank you.
Reed just said it was a setup for us who had to follow him. That's true. I couldn't sleep this morning, so I did write some words down in my mind, and I'm going to try and share them with you today. 10 days ago, this journey started with our mission manager, Sean Duvall, knocking on my door in crew quarters and whispering, "Christina, we're go for launch. Get up." And it ended last night when my nurse on the ship put me to bed and said, "Ma'am, can I get a hug?" So a lot has happened since then, but or between those two moments, but the start and the end were human moments here on Earth. So several years ago, I was giving a speech and I was doing my usual talk about crew and crewmates and teamwork, and someone asked the question, what makes a crew? What is different about a crew than a team? And I was like, I got this. Opened my mouth confidently to tell them everything I knew about being a crewmate. And everything that came out of my mouth was completely without value. I was like, yeah, crews, they're in space, and they work together, but they eat together too. So, they're a crew. And boats have crews. You're a crew if you're on a boat. Helps if you have a paddle. That'll be good. That'll make you a crew. But the last 10 days, I've gotten a little bit of a better answer on that question. A crew is people, or, a group that is in it all the time, no matter what, that is stroking together every minute with the same purpose, that is willing to sacrifice silently for each other, that gives grace, that holds accountable. A crew has the same cares and the same needs, and a crew is inescapably, beautifully, dutifully linked. So when we saw Tiny Earth, people asked our crew what impressions we had. And honestly, what struck me wasn't necessarily just Earth, it was all the blackness around it. Earth was just this lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe. Uh-oh. So I may have not learned, I know I haven't learned everything that this journey has yet to teach me. But there's one new thing I know, and that is, planet Earth, you are a crew. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, it's been a lot. This isn't helping. But this is the furthest I've been away from Reed in a long time. Thank you. All right, that's good. Thank you. I think, yeah, thank you. I think what I'd like to share today is maybe 3 of the human experiences for us. And you haven't heard us talk a lot about the science, the things we've learned, and that's because they're there, and they're incredible. But it's the human experience that is extraordinary for us. And it sounds like maybe for you too. And so I think I'll start with gratitude. Gratitude for my family, gratitude for NASA, for its leadership, gratitude for Canadian Space Agency, gratitude pour les Canadiennes et les Canadiens. Et j'ai hâte de pouvoir revenir avec Reed, Christina, Victor au Canada. Gratitude for the bravery and the courage for the teams to be no-go when we were no-go and go when we were go. That took a lot. And I don't think people will really ever fully comprehend how well supported and trained we were. It is almost unbelievable. All right, and as my daughter would say, I'll try and stay locked in here. Okay. The next one is joy. We have a term in our crew that we coined a long time ago, the joy train. And sounds like you saw a lot of joy up there. There was a lot of joy. We're not always on the joy train, this crew. There are many times we're not on the joy train. But we are committed to getting back on the joy train as soon as we can. And that is a useful life skill for any team trying to get something done. And the last one is, I need your help for this. Come on up here, guys. The last one is love. What you saw was a group of people who loved contributing, having meaningful contribution, and extracting joy out of that. And what we've been hearing is that was something special for you to witness. And the reason I had them form up here with me is because I would suggest to you that when you look up here, you're not looking at us. We are a mirror reflecting you. And if you like what you see, then just look a little deeper. This is you. Dude, come on.
Wow. Thank you, Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, for your leadership, your integrity, for representing the very best of human exploration. You are the tip of the spear representing all of the ground teams working along your side to make this mission a success. And by the way, welcome home.
Yeah.
NASA is committed to working with international partners to successfully accomplish our missions. The U.S.-Canada Cooperation for Artemis II marks a historic partnership with Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen becoming the first non-American to fly around the moon. And now, that's the energy. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Canadian Space Agency President Lisa Campbell.
I know it's not protocol, but come on.
Thanks, Lisa. Thank you.
We're so happy to have you back. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Ça va bien? Everybody's doing well? Excellent. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, it's wonderful to see you safely back on Earth. For the first time in over 50 years, humanity has returned to lunar orbit, and the world was watching. Through your perspective, we saw the Earth in its full complexity and interconnection. And through your dedication, our greatest strengths, ambition, collaboration, ingenuity, took flight once again, bringing humankind further than before. Jeremy, with you representing us on board, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jenny Gibbons. Dr. Gibbons, right over there. Supporting the mission on console as Artemis Capcom, Canada is incredibly proud to be part of this endeavor. It's a powerful moment for our partners at NASA, for Canada, and for everyone who believes in what humanity can achieve together. Our deep and enduring partnership in space, working side by side in the shuttle era, through the International Space Station, and now through Artemis, all the way past the far side of the moon and back. To our partners at NASA, thank you for this collaboration. Bold leadership, strategic investment, technological expertise brought together across nations. This is what delivers results. And the Artemis program shows us that when we align around common purpose, we can drive prosperity for generations to come. What's happened today, as you said, Administrator, is anchored in decades of leadership and proven expertise. And in Canada, we've invested heavily in robotics in space, so we believe we're well positioned to deliver sought-after capabilities that'll support the infrastructure and autonomy needed for a sustained human presence on the moon, and you've shown us the way. Jeremy, over the last 10 days, you've represented the very best of what it means to be Canadian. You've exemplified our deepest values, discipline, humility, and hard work. And to the Artemis crew, the four of you embodied what teamworks look like at its very best. It was such a pleasure to connect with you live from Canada, even at 3 in the morning. During your mission, it was such a powerful example of unity in action, and we had a full room at 3 and 2 in the morning. Together, this historic journey has reminded us that exploration begins with curiosity and that big dreams are worth pursuing and worth sharing. With your safe return to Earth, you've completed a new chapter in humanity's return to the moon, and we're so proud. Félicitations, Artemis II. Félicitations et bon retour à la maison.
We are proud to have strong bipartisan congressional support for the United States space program, and we're honored to be joined by members of Congress here with us today. Please join me in welcoming U.S. Representative Chairman Brian Babin to the stage.
It's hard to know how to follow something like that. It's unbelievable. Just want to say how honored I am to be representing the 36th Congressional District of the state of Texas. For all these... Thank you. For all of this is transpiring. And it's hard to describe. I'm a dentist by profession, not an attorney or a wordsmith. I usually turn to my wife to write my speeches and help me to flower them up. But you guys have really inspired us. And Christina, when you answered my question the other night, the most inspiring thing that you would like to relive would be the launch and seeing that eclipse. And Administrator Isaacman sent me the picture of that eclipse, which I have on my phone and which I'm going to blow up and put in my Washington office, too. It is an awesome thing. That's all I can say. You are welcome home. We're so very proud of you. You've inspired not only America and Canada, but the entire world and generations of humans that are going to be coming after you. We're grateful not only for your courage and your commitment, but also for the sacrifices made by your families. As my wife and I have 17 grandkids, I don't like to be away from them more than about 24 hours. So when you're 750,000 miles away, I can only imagine how you want to get back to those beautiful people over there. So I thank you families as well. And your team, the team that has made this entire thing possible. It's not just 4 folks here. It's tens of thousands and many, many years and decades, basically. Over the past 10 days, Artemis II has demonstrated to the world what America is capable of and our international cooperation is capable of. You have traveled farther from Earth than any humans have ever gone before, pushing the boundaries of exploration, reminding us of the pioneering spirit that defines our great country. And that goes for Canada as well. Through years of shifting priorities, technical challenges, budgetary pressures, Congress has maintained a steady continuity of purpose, providing the long-term support necessary to keep the Artemis program moving forward and ensuring America's return to the moon remain the primary objective. And while we celebrate this extraordinary achievement, we must also recognize what it represents. This mission is a critical step forward in achieving President Trump's vision of returning Americans to the moon in 2028, and doing so before our competitors do. And there is still much work ahead, but this moment should renew our confidence, and it most certainly has. The United States is ready for this challenge, and we are ready to lead. And as we lead in space, we carry with us the principles that have always guided us: freedom, innovation, and opportunity. And this is only the beginning of our journey. America is going back to the moon, and this time we are going to stay. Yes. God bless our astronauts. God bless NASA. And God bless America and Canada. Thank you so very, very much. Appreciate you all. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Michael Cloud, from the 27th District, south of me. He's driven up here today to honor us with his presence. And he's also an appropriator. Thank you all very much.
Well, I cannot tell you what an honor it is for me to be here. As a young child, I would look to the stars like so many others, and I actually wanted to be an astronaut. I still want to be an astronaut, truth be told, but it is certainly an honor to be here and to be a part of this historic moment. No doubt of everyone in this room and of the millions watching, perhaps no one feels the gravity of this moment like you do, I'm sure, quite literally. But thank you for all you've done to inspire us to dream again. You and everyone who has supported you. It is, as a father, I have 3 kids, and I know some of you do too, and it's just, for them to have something to look to dream again, to build again, to achieve again. Us as a nation desperately needed this. The world needed this. We needed to see what could be done when we could come together again. I'm reminded of the psalmist in Psalm 8. He said, even as we look to the night sky, and as we look at creation and behold the stars Mars and the moon, we begin to think about what is mankind from God's perspective. And so this trip gave us a different way of looking at ourselves. And the way that you have displayed the best of us has been extraordinary and has given us a perspective as we continue to push ahead into the future. Your travels, your exploration, the years of work, the dedication for you, for your teams, all the prep that goes into this, and yes, as someone mentioned, thankfully, Administrator for mentioning the taxpayer as well involved in this as well, and our job in Congress to steward that. But this is a noble cause. It's a worthy cause. It's worthy of our best efforts as a nation, and thank you for what you've done. You've given us something to dream of in, you've inspired us, and you've given us something that we can build upon for the future. God bless you. Thank you for your work. Thank you, NASA, and all of you here. God bless you.
Still hoping.
All right, maybe this thing's working, maybe it isn't. No, Norm, just stay right here. Just stay right here. I'm going to do a NASA go back. But the whole time that we've been training and when we've been in flight, we have called this a relay race. We, the four of us, have batons sitting at our desk. They give us all colors. I'm red, you're gold, blue, and green. And when you're up there, you end up kind of identifying yourself as red, gold, blue, and green. We're kind of our colors. So we have those color batons sitting there. But I just want to tell you, and Jared, looking at you and knowing the fortitude that you have and seeing the direction that this agency is going in right now, we would be remiss if the four of us didn't look right there and say, it is time to go and be ready, because it takes courage, it takes determination, and you all are freaking going, and we are going to be standing there supporting you every single step of the way in every possible way possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Reed, and thank you to all of our representatives. We could not explore the unknown without your support, and that's for sure. Well, what an incredible milestone. Today, we've celebrated the successful return of a mission that carried humanity back into deep space, captivating millions, inspiring the next generation, and reaffirming the United States' leadership and dominance in both low Earth orbit and the journey back to the moon. To the Artemis II crew, welcome home, and thank you for sharing this mission with all of us. To the workforce across NASA and our partners, this achievement belongs to you. Yes. Your dedication, expertise, and passion made this mission possible. And to everyone watching, this is just the beginning. We are entering a new era of exploration, returning to the moon, building a sustained presence there, and preparing for missions to Mars. And we're glad you're on this journey with us. You can continue to follow NASA and Artemis on NASA Plus and across our social channels. But before we close, let's bring our crew back to center stage one more time for a big Texas round of applause and a big welcome home.